Beijing had warned U.S. aircraft to check in with Chinese forces as part of a plan to assert its claim over the Senkakus, a group of islands that Japan also regards as its own. The Chinese said all aircraft would be required to identify themselves. Pentagon spokesman Army Colonel Steve Warren says the area in question is international airspace and U.S. pilots will not comply.
The United States will do none of this. We will continue to conduct operations as we always have in this area and not identify flight plans, radio frequencies, or logos.
The first test came on Tuesday when 2 American bombers of the type shown here ignored the Chinese requirements and flew into the area near the Senkakus without incident. Analysts say the Chinese military does not have the radar or other capabilities to enforce such restrictions. But perceptions fueled by deep cuts to the U.S. defense budget and a U.S. reluctance to get involved in conflicts around the world have emboldened China to confront the U.S. Patrick Cronin, an Asia specialist at the Center for a New American Security, a research group that advises the Obama administration, says the Chinese are gambling on how Washington will respond.
China's betting that we are more worried about a military confrontation than they are, to some extent. But they're not really thinking this through very deeply. China will be embarrassed by some kind of confrontation.
The U.S. sees China's decision to impose restrictions on U.S. aircraft as a dangerous move that analysts say could lead to a major international incident.
While nobody is looking for conflict, and while it's not likely to lead to war, the possibility and the risk of some shots being fired or some aircraft or ship being shot at has increased markedly because of Chinese unilateral changes to the status quo.
In the absence of an actual incident, U.S. forces say they will conduct training operations in the area as usual and are not sending additional assets to the region. Luis Ramirez, VOA News, at the Pentagon.